That's why true music lovers make a big switch. And because you have a winner taste, 88.5 FM is your only station.
Dale con be on the 2029. And all the people want to be. They're going to be like on the 2029. But we have the authority. We don't have the number, but we have the authority. We have the authority. The government can do nothing with us. The government can do nothing with us. Where the budget will go, the budget have to come before us. All the school you went to your head and empty that you talk about number. The Constitution say you must get 2 tier. Then you say number. So we're setting the basis for 2029. Because 2029, when the opposition get one vote, we're not waiting for the percentage again. We will declare ourselves winner and we'll get our victory to the executive mansion and put our candidate in the chair as winner. You see group of people leaving their homes to go sit down to one hotel. Most of the people that allow their husband to go to the hotel, their husband will carry people to their houses.
It is time for our legislature to make laws and not noise. It is time that our judiciary get on with settling cases and dispense justice without being compromised. It is time for the executive to speak, but speak with the power of exemplary behavior. Some will ask, why this message now? It's because time for us, time for Liberia is running out. Why am I doing this? Because I'm a leader and because I care for the good of the country. Silence makes us all culpable in wrongdoings.
I think it is a dangerous irony that a man who was born in Sierra Leone, Mr. Joseph Boakai, born in Sierra Leone, having gotten elected by a narrow victory, he will not focus his energy on reconciling the country, uniting the country, and he will take a frivolous lawsuit, not just to honor court Councillor Kofa, but to honor man Liberia high-end democracy. I think it's dangerous. I think it will basically say something about Boakai as somebody who is a divisive character. Because, brother, at this current stage, anybody who has an optical vision for a better Liberia, what that person will do is to think critically.
I did not back up from the process, and I did not support anyone. What I can tell you, the process has been dollarized. Even people that committed themselves to us refused to nominate us. So we will stand up tall because we know people like us, the legislators, will not want to see us in leadership because there are things we stand for and we will never back down. I'm not deterred. I'm still going to be a voice in the House. If even the marginalized me by refusing to nominate me, you say you supporting me. Yesterday, said he gave me his support. And he was the one nominate me. No, women couldn't nominate me. So I'm not deterred. We always have people like us that speak up when things are wrong.
Embarrassment at you. Are you a reconciler? When are you going to put this country together? When? Joseph Boakai is a dangerous person. Joseph Boakai is a dangerous person. Now I joined the Lebrimpo to tell Ellen Sari. We know you are good to Joseph Boakai, but Joseph Boakai is just another ingrate. I don't appreciate good or somebody do good for them. Joseph Boakai, the shame will come to you. So they say you're reconciled, you were 40 years. What thing you learn? Making appointment. You take over crop from Joseph ministry. You can't do labor ministry. Joseph Boakai, you confused? Why are you confused at there? And we're trying to investigate you. My source is telling me that you're telling Jeremiah I'm going to find money to pay you out so you can say you incapacitated. According to my source, Joseph Boakai trying to strike deal with Jeremiah to gain him money so he can say he incapacitated.
Several are moving rapidly to claim the future, but yet others, engulfed by recurring bad habits, are being left behind. Let's face it, Liberia is one of those countries that will be left behind, even when compared with our closest neighbor, which no longer follows our lead. It is time for reflection, my people. It is time for us to work. It is time to stop the steal. It's time for honesty. and time for changing minds and attitudes.
You can't put these things in there to just throw it to make it look big. But you didn't even do the fundamental research. All these institutions have managing directors, have employees that they can verify. So you didn't even do the minimum verification to find my affiliation, and you threw it there. Besides that, you can get no testimony, and I defy anybody to bring a testimony where I sat down with a lawmaker, with one of these entities as a lawyer representing them or as a consultant. It just has not happened. So this is not true, and this is not correct.
A pleasure to see you back in Paris. But first of all, 1995, the Ballon d'Or. What memories do you keep of that?
So it's a historical year for me. First Ballon d'Or in Africa. And then, thank God, I'm very grateful to all of the coaches that helped me to gain the feat.
I suppose you dream of seeing another African win the Ballon d'Or in the years to come.
Sure. We're all hoping, and it will soon be coming. But we see a lot of great talent, African talent, and we are sure that we're going to get another Ballon d'Or.
It's an honor to have you here. Thank you very much, Joshua.
The 2024 Ballon d'Or French football winner is Roderick.
But just so you know, at 4 o'clock, we're crisscrossing. We're taking a panoramic analysis of the University of Liberia PhD program launch. The government, the president's office said it is the first of its kind in Liberia. It hasn't been. No government, no president has ever since 1822 and then on to 1847 and then 2024 ever dreamt of that except the Unity Party government. In essence, they claim from a political academic perspective, they are visionary enough. So we're going to look at it to get a clear perspective. I've invited an expert in that area who has a wealth of experience in the academic sector. He's been in the sector for a very long time, crisscrossing several universities here in Liberia, teaching, and out of Liberia. It's hard to get individual. Finally, it was a miracle to lay my hands on him, and he consented to be here to explain. Is it true that the PhD launch at the University of Liberia, the first of its kind, no government has ever had the least thought? That will be at 4 o'clock when University Professor Arakofa Claw is in to give a panoramic historical analysis vis-a-vis the future of it at 4 p.m. You don't want to miss that discussion. Acknowledgement first. Abdoulaye Dole, you've come on from Zozo City, Lofa County. DIT Togba, you're following from Ominga Market, CDC project, you said. Mekimin D. Harrens, you're following from Boston, the United States. Please forgive me if I'm not pronouncing your first name right. It's spelled Mekime. Chiek Adam, you've come on from Old Road, Joba Market. And Momo Kamara, you are following from West Point. And you say thank you for what you continue to do for the Liberian people. Thank you too for coming on. We are always inspired by you people presence on the show. And not only on this show, but every other program. Thank you ever so much. Solo Wat Kosia, you say good afternoon. You are falling from your comfort zone, Gardnersville, New Georgia Estate. Moses Lake, you've come on from Kakatat City, Magibi County, and you say thank you for the show. Thank you too for coming on. Aaron Ngafwan, you are watching from Vogeman City, Lofa County. Mohammed Famula Jr., you are following from Tottenberg City, Bombing County. And Ambassador Delano Roosevelt Zoe, you've come on from Logan Town, your residents. Mark James, you're following from, you didn't say, but it's good to have you on. O'Malley Moritz, you've come on from the political party headquarters in Congo Town. Mafle Cisse, you are following from North Dakota, Fargo, the United States of America. Christopher Bernard, Doazon, Lower Magibi County. Zia Yiman, Gabo from Georgia, the United States of America. And you said next week, Tuesday, is in America's election. Yes. Whichever way it goes, fine. Let's see as to whether America is ready for a woman president. They have always pushed every other country on women's right, women's participation, allowing women to get fully involved. They will put so much pressure on us in our country. I know that for a fact because all of the elections, they will even corner the National Elections Commission to make sure that women are placed on presidential tickets. But they have never, ever given or done that to their own country. I don't think they're ready for a woman president. So outside, they are democratic. Inside, they aren't democratic. But let's see how it goes. If Kamala Harris wins, fine. If Donald Trump gets back, fine. That's democracy. Who the people want, the person is announced. Matthias G. Togba, you've come on from Badnersville Estate. My dear sisters, my southeastern sister, Dwight, you've come on from Minnesota. You said cold day from your end. On that side, it's very cold, eh? Yeah, the sun is on in our country, Morovia. Good to have you on, Dwight. Zau Zeflomo, you're following from 18th Street, your office, Abraham Sear, Claratown, Samson Kerry, Badnersville Township, Otaku Kahu, Maryland, the United States of America, from your residence where you're watching the show, Emmanuel Nelson, Buchanan City, Grand Bassa County, Nenen Kuya, you are following from North Dakota, Fargo, the United States of America, Tennant Johnson, you've come on from Providence, Rhode Island, you say thanks for a wonderful job, thank you for coming on too. Old Pa Hammond, you are following from Habel Magibi County, Town. And you guys are just coming on in your trunk. Emmanuel Bro. So good afternoon, Kings FM 88.5 in Morovia. And my fellow viewers, I'm watching from George Floyd Memorial Square in Minneapolis, Minnesota, the United States of America. Andrew Banner, you come on from Gardnersville. You say thanks for the show. Murphy Hina, you're following from, you didn't say, but you have something to say about the lawmakers. We'll read your comments later. Rachel Lawrence, you said, thanks for the show. Hi, hello, brother. Thank you. And welcome, Rachel. Jala M. Kamara Senior, you're following from Town. Eugene Jobo, you've come on from Capital Bypass. Lemio Pekin, you're following from Old Road, District 10. Sarah Joe McGill, you've come on from Minneapolis, Minnesota, the United States of America. Solomon Howard, you've come on from Bernard Farm. Alfonso Mensa Gova Jr. from Old Road Gay Town. Nathan Flomo Swakolo from Habel Firestone. Okay. My dear brother Stephen Coker, you've come on from Minnesota, the United States of America. I have a whole bunch of fans over there. That's good. And Jackson C. Pony of Iron Factory Block C community, you come on. Thank you ever so much. Okay. So we acknowledge you as you come on. We've got the issues to talk about. Time is of the essence. Again, at 4 o'clock, we take a panoramic analysis historically of the UL government launch PhD program at the University of Liberia. The government said, Unity Party-led government said it is the first kind It is the first of its kind. No government from 1822 to 1847, from 1847 to 2003, ever thought about a PhD program at that university. Hence, they are the first to have such vision, and it was birthed with the launch at the university. Is that true? Well, we take a look at that. True. University professor Arakofa Claw. You don't want to miss the discussion. That will be at 4 o'clock. Until then, let's get to the issues. But before then, let's say happy birthday. My chairman daughter is celebrating his birthday. That's good. Celebrating her birthday, rather. Little Lydian Yasa Leptupan of Iron Factory Block B. You are celebrating your birthday, little girl, and your father, Romancio Rico Kenneth Boy, Leptupan, and your mother, Marie, as well as all of your uncles from Block 13 are celebrating with you. Celebrate your day, little girl. Birthday is very important. Wedding important. Every other event, they are worth celebrating. So, little Lillian Yasa Leptupam, celebrate your birthday on today, the 30th. Okay, let's get started now with what we've got to talk about briefly, and then the professor is in for that discussion, and then we are out. So, the finance minister, Augustin Bourgamfoin, is fighting hard. He's trying the best he can to get Liberia's economy on course. He is doing what he can from a professional standpoint. But it seems solution is far from reaching. He is in the United States, and he's been having meeting with the International Monetary Fund, IMF, World Bank officials, and other multilateral stakeholders to see the need to help salvage Liberia's economy because it is in a dire state. And if it continues in such a condition, the suffering going to quadruple, the suffering going to rise. Already, the finance minister, before he left Liberia, he refers to the problem in Liberia as gangantuan, meaning the problems are so enormous to the extent that it would take miracle to solve. However, they are trying the best they can within their reach educationally and professionally to have some of the problem, if not all, solved. So he's there making Liberia case, fighting hard that Liberia's rising debt is a challenge for the country's economic growth. But he went further to tell his audience that they are working here in Liberia, the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, on solving the problem despite the gargantuan challenges, as he will always say or describe Liberia's economic woes. According to the country's finance minister, the debt is around 2.5, and you know what I'm talking about in dollars. And it's very, very substantial. It's staggering amount. 2.85. That's the debt Liberia owed. And I was telling you people yesterday, you overlook it. And this, under this regime, the debt will increase again. When you sit down, the people take our resources from here because our politicians and other leaders are mumu. They go with it, reprocess, develop theirs, come up with different plans beneficial to them, and then they call you to sign and say, this institution has given Liberia 2.5 million. And all the radio stations and newspapers take it as breaking news. Institution Tajikistan has given Liberia 8.5 million. And you are excited. And you think it's just a money they dash to Liberia because Liberia is the finest, glorious country on earth, and everybody wants to be a part because they are more than Israel. That money, they bully you by publicity. That money is what you're going to be paying in return, called debt. These are what amount to debt. So at a certain point in time, they say, Liberia, you have this amount, and you credited this amount, or this amount was given to you for so and so. Now your debt stands at so XYZ amount. And then you begin to shift blame. That's how it works. So when you hear the people come up, finance minister and this other World Bank person or IMF or whatever the institution, they sit down at whatever the Ministry, Agriculture, Finance, Post and Telecom, they sit down and sign, and then the media run with it, they spread it for Liberian government, and the Swedish account signed 4.5 million. So the understanding of the people who are illiterate enough, they would think that, yes, Liberia, the people have given Liberia good money. That is why when you see nothing happening, you now tend to start complaining, because that's what they make you to understand. But you can't get it happening the way you want it to happen because your debt begin to rise. They're not free money they're giving. They're not free money. The money that you should have, or the kind of life that you should live, you can live it because your resources that God gave you so that you will be independent, that you will develop, your own people take it and put it at the feet of those people. So he's there making Liberia's case, fighting hard. According to him, part of the solution, according to Gafan, what he told the guys there, that part of the solution will be the government putting forth 300 million every year. That means the government will pay 300 million of that 285 they owe. And that the Ministry of Finance, in his words, are putting measures in place to reduce the 285 debt ceiling or rising debt gradually. What other thing did he say briefly? That they have secure, listen carefully, if you were on social media, if you read some of the newspapers, and if you listen to him on VOA this morning, very many of the people are excited, especially supporters of Unity Party. So they've started to present it like Gafan has gotten more than what Liberia needs for development. They've started to portray it like Gafan has found the solution to Liberia's ever-pressing problem. So they will take the credit and give it to Gafan. They think that Gafan is the miracle maker, because the discussion went on and the people said, since you're having this, we'll credit you. We'll credit you people this amount. Gafan himself said it. Then the fanatics of Unity Party, they hook on it, put Gafan picture there, Using the Rea Talk, Gafwan has made significant breakthrough for Liberia. He has solved Liberia's economic problems. Instead, common sense to this. Let me tell you, common sense. The people not giving, they're not free money they gave Liberia. He said they were able to secure $210 million from the IMF. They got that money under a special program the IMF called extended credit, CREDIT, credit facility program. Facility means they give you the money so we help to solve some of the problems that you have. But it is not a free money. They credit you that money. So the fanatics now, instead of explaining it to the people in a way that they will understand, they're portraying it like Gafwan has solved Liberia's problem. That everything going to be easy, that nothing, you're going to see everything happening just like everything is happening well in heaven. But that is not true. That is not true. This is just one. Gafwan stay begging. He still justifying. He still have to convince the people why they should do X, Y, Z for Liberia. Not that they're against Liberia, but they too got other people they are helping. And they're raising serious concerns with Gafwan. When Gafwan come back, you're asking. The people there are raising serious concerns with Gafwan. They're asking Gafwan the hardcore questions about Liberia. Gafwan is trying the best he can to convince the people, and these people are not people who are just low in reasoning and profession that you play on them like how the guys do here, the politicians do here in Liberia. These are veterans. These are people who've been in the business for 40, 50 years. So to convince people like that why they should do this for your country, why you think they should waive a debt, or why you think they should cut your debt, you will give them a miracle conviction. And it takes a person at this level to do what? You know how it is done? Just humble yourself in begging, that's all. Because the people saying the more thing. So you hear the finance minister, yeah, we beg you, we don't have this, the country is this, we need your support, you know, we just coming out of this, just how other finance ministers would say a couple of years back, you need to help us, you need to give up some money, we're just coming out of war, we're not fully settled yet. You hear all those things. That's what the finance minister do. No finance minister works miracle for a country. Everybody now, or let me not say everybody, but most of those financial and multilateral institutions and stakeholders, they are skeptical of Liberia. All of the factors exist. One, there's insecurity right now. That insecurity, it doesn't mean that you have people running up and down, there is fighting. No. Insecurity, given what is happening in the country. People are using willful, unregrettable way the little money in the country to help. So they don't have that security of trying to help or to put the money in Liberia. Two, investors will be skeptical that given all that is happening, going into that country, it's very likely that I might be the victim. Three, the roads all over are bad off. Investors want a conducive investment climate. Liberia doesn't reach that mark yet. And on we can go. If you were in a meeting, see, yet some of the questions they're asking Gafwan. And if Gafwan came back, you're asking him, he will tell you. That's why he said, Gafwan being in this thing before, he knows. That's why when he appeared on state radio, what did he say? He said that the problems, the challenges are gangantuan. You look up that word, gangantuan, meaning it will take miracle. That's why he said the people of Liberia, under the Unity Party-led government should not expect anything to happen in a twinkling of an eye. It's going to take time, and that time might even run into 6 years and even beyond 6 years. That's what it is. So he said they were able to secure. Now, securing 210 million is not because Gafwa is extraordinary. The people know Liberia's problem already. So you don't have to say much. They come up and say, okay, we help you with this. We give you this amount. We credit you this amount, 210 million. Liberia, when you reduce your debt, then you are in a position to make a case for another loan so that you solve some of your problems. So under that arrangement, they call it, you look it up, you just Google it, you'll see it. They're not free money. Under the IMF program, they help you to jumpstart, to get off the ground with something. They give you, like, say you won't get anything at all. Then say, okay, we'll give you 100. And my man, start with the one. Start with the one. Let's see how it goes here. The high looks. So that 210 is under the IMF Extended Credit Facility Program. But he's trying. Then Councillor Tiawan Gonglo is recommending, he wrote the president recommending that it would be good for Liberia, the cancellation of graduation fees throughout the country. And his reason is there's hardship all over the place. Hardship has overwhelmed the country. Therefore, one of the ways to mitigate the hardship is to cut or squash the graduation fees across the country of all schools, no graduation fees. He recommended that to the president in a write-out. I do not know whether that is right. In his opinion, is okay. But the reason he gave, it is germane. But I do not know whether it is right. And it's going to help if it goes across the cancellation or the squashing of graduation fees. But hardship is not only looming in the country, but it has overtaken the country because nothing much is working. Nothing much is working from every sector of the country. Nothing. Government ministries, the employees are not taking pay. Businesses aren't running. Everywhere, things are hard. Commercial drivers are not getting what they will get as per their projection. Things are just hard. Too many people are not in school. Least to talk about the children. Very many parents cannot afford to send their children to school. Some of them attempted making one or two interventions from other family members and people away, but it can't carry them further because the money finished. Some of them not working, they're not doing business. So you find many children stop going to school. And it hurts, it pains these parents, especially when they see their neighbor children going to school. It also affects the children when they see their peer going to school in their uniform and they're not going. All because their parents don't have money. On the average level, you see the same thing. Many of the people, many students at the tertiary level, they can't afford it. They can't afford it. They can't take on the courses as required by the university because they don't have the money to sustain those courses. The country is hard, H-A-R-D, it's hard. So Councillor Tiawangonglo thinks that one of the ways it will help parents is let the government issue a decree canceling all graduation fees. That's what he said. That is his recommendation. And that will take us to the next pointer. Then we'll open the line, take few calls. We'll talk briefly on what's unfolding at the Love of Money to get ready for the professor and his analysis. So the LNP will dismiss 2 of its officers, ACP Sam SD Bala and Patrolman Augustine G. Ben, for gross misconduct. They were dismissed. That is what the LNP said. They were dismissed for gross misconduct. That's all I can say to that. You know why I think I can stop here? Because, in my opinion, it has always been announcement. They will say they dismissed this person, but you see the person back in the force at different place. So in Liberia, people are dismissed in the media, but retain their position at the office. You see that with LNP all of the time. This person has been dismissed and will be forwarded to court for prosecution. You go to the court clerk tells you, we know about you. We too, we heard it in the media. That case didn't come here from the LNP. So I don't want to say it is a joke, it is a fun fair, but the LNP has to stop making these kinds of frivolous announcements. The public not interested in those. That's not what the public want to hear, that you dismiss officer for gross insubordination or ethical misconduct. It's not going to impact them. It means nothing to them. You know why? Because that is not their focus. If you have a situation like that, you can discipline the person within. It's not everything you bring to the press, especially when it is a security institution. Liberia is the only country that security institutions in the media every day. This all one this. This person did this, and the LNP has done this, and the LNP doing this. The Justice Ministry said this. The NSA said this. The NSA is doing that. Liberia, the only country, security people, whole day, every day, week in, week out, in the press. You make yourself vulnerable. You dismissing every now and then. You dismiss somebody. You come up to announce it. Real security institution. Very seldom you hear them in the media. And when they are in the media, they're in the media for the right reason that the public will say, yes, this is true. And this is right. The LNP is right. The national security is right. The armed forces of Liberia is right. But every little thing, they jump to the media. Every little thing, they call press conference. Police director having press conference. You will have press conferences more than 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week. The police spokeswoman, she having press conference every night and then. The other security person having press conference, calling the media, ladies and gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen of the press. Oh, come on, you're wasting time. You expose yourself. It is not everything you bring to the media as security institution. It's not when you are disciplining somebody or you took an action against a person as a security institution, you throw it in the media. Do you not see people in other countries' security institutions? Not that the media is not for them. Not that they can go to the media, but they know when to do it, how to do it, and the nature of it. It is not everything they chunk into the media. Little thing. The Liberia National Police has dismissed 2 of its officers. That security institution there, you know what it means? To announce a dismissal of a security person, you think that you are scoring capital or you sounding better, but you exposing yourself, you making yourself vulnerable. No reason why people can bully the security sector in this country anytime. Because the very police director, I don't think he's actually security minded. You sit down there every now and then, you just announce, you allow your people to announce that you this other security person, that other security person. You know what it means? We had an opportunity a couple of years back to sit with veterans from the United States in a workshop on the same thing. And the guy made it clear. The man said, as a security institution, it is not just dismissing and getting into the media. The security sector is off the media completely. Their role is different. They are not politicians. It's not everything that the media should know what is happening within the security sector. It poses a threat. It exposes the security. The man was saying, I said, Papa, the yo, tell them, because there's also bluff boards. There's also bluff boards all over the place, showcasing. So that's a gross misconduct. They are dismissed. Okay. So let's talk about what's unfolding briefly. I said I wouldn't want to give further credence to what is unfolding at the legislature, even though it is typical. You can just leave it. But Israel will talk about it at length in the morning, and he does extremely well with that. That's good. And then in the evening, AB comes and take it from different angle. Last night, AB was talking about it from their own law, And guess what? I learned so much. I didn't know that that was in the law. It was AB that exposed me to it. In their own law, it forbids corruption. So when AB was explaining it last night, I said to myself, I can see why these guys are pushing this thing so hard, creating a scene so that the people will not focus on that. And it takes a person who is farsighted to go down there. And that's what AB is. Yes. I do never ever talk about that. All of us just discussing it from the surface. So when I heard him, listening to him last night, talking about it, I say, yes, this is the cross. This is why these guys are doing all of these things, so that I will finish quick, because they don't want people to use that law or to reference the very law, because the law forbids them from engaging into this. You know what it means? It even tantamount to expulsion from the legislature. A legislator, honorable people engage in stealing, engage in bribery, engage in corruption. Okay, let's leave it as that. So the information minister, Jeremy Pia, he made it clear. He said, as far as the executive is concerned, as far as his boss, President Joseph Yuma Boakai, is concerned, the speaker, Fonati Kofa, is the speaker. The executive branch of government recognizes Geneton Fonati Kofa as the Speaker of the House of Representatives legitimately. That the budget, when finished, if Speaker Kofa is still the Speaker, it will be presented to him. On the other hand, if he is removed and another person is elected Speaker, they will present. But in the event that Fonati Kofa is still the Speaker, and they recognize Fonati Kofa as the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the executive sees him as the Speaker, and they will present the budget to him as it is the custom. So with that coming from President Joseph Yuma Boakai, spokesperson and the information minister, the 42 mercenaries need to have a second thought. And I want to believe that the Minister of Information said that because the executive soon realized that it's having a serious toll on the function of the government. You may think things are working. Things aren't working coordinatively. There is lack of coordination right now. The Senate, they can do all that they can do as per their working. Until that impasse is resolved at the House of Representatives, it will just be mere discussions they're having at that Senate. Now, the Speaker, the guys are still stiff-necked on relinquishing their position to go back. As far as they're concerned, the Speaker will go. Whether the Speaker goes or not, whether the Speaker remains the Speaker, that bribery allegation, action will have to be taken against those people. And I know that the LACC will not protect anybody. The LACC will not be partial. The LACC will do everything it can to bring out the truth. We trust the investigative power of the LACC. We believe in the credibility of the LACC. That is grave, especially from the first branch of government. And I think there should be a concern because it borders on their reputation too, the Senate. It should be a concern for the Senate also. That is the first branch of government caught in corruption, allegedly. It is alleged until proven. But I can't use the word alleged. We only use the word alleged because ethically you have to. But I know that money took place. Money exchanged hands. Why? Because that's what they do all of the time, throughout. That is why I call them the love of money. That their area there. They like money so much. Men and women in that place who consider themselves honorable. They will stoop so low fighting for money. No reason why nothing good can happen over there because very many of the people who are representatives, they are mentally empty. Nothing they know. That is why when their colleagues are discussing the issue, they're sitting down like Bobo because it's far above them. And no disrespect to some of the women over there. There are good women over there, but I'm referencing the ones that stoop so low for 15,000. There are great female legislators over there who got integrity, who know their value, their worth, and the impact of stooping so low for money. That is why you see in that house, the Senate and the House of Representatives, only few female you hear talking. They were screaming all over the place. They both want to elect females. This country is that kind of chauvinistic society, and they don't want that. They don't want that. They're saying all kinds of things, speaking their women terms. The boy elected them. What do you see? Nothing. They only sit down there. They're fighting for money. I'm referencing those women, not the ones who did not fight for money, did not sign for money because they know who they are in terms of status. I'm talking to those women who stood so low. You know what it means when you say honorable? You're not honorable. You know it today. Your female legislators and male legislators. It's not extra honor. You're not extra. The only reason they call you honorable because of your job, the job that you are doing. And it is not only unto you. Know it today. There's nothing extra. It is not only unto you, it's unto everybody. I, Sam Andrews, who is sitting behind this microphone, I am doing an honorable job. I am serving the public. It is because of the job that I do that the public respect me. So therefore, I am honorable. So if anybody calls and say, Honorable Sam Andrews, I would say, yes, I am honorable. The sweeper, the janitor is an honorable person by the job that he or she does. And nothing extra. The executive, government ministers, they are honorable. The president is honorable. The marketer, the woman who on the street rolling her goods in a wheelbarrow from one end to another. She is an honorable woman because she does an honorable thing to earn a good living. And she is serving humanity. So you don't think there is something extra when they're calling you honorable, then you raise your chest, you raise your arm. Door people over there. You're sitting 10 months, nothing happened. You're saying your colleagues using you as stooges and surrogates because they see illiteracy in you. You can't reason. No independent thinking. Most of you over there, the guys are bullying you, and I bet you guys put it to test. As soon as this thing is over, assume that Speaker Kofa is removed, you will see very many of you guys who screaming here and there, how those guys will start reacting to you. Then you will come back and say, if we had known, we were never going to remove Speaker Kofa. We never knew that these guys had this hidden motive. You sit down there. This is when you will get to know that politics is deadly, is nasty. That politics is just as God said in Jeremiah 17:9. They say the heart of man is desperately wicked. Who can discern it thereof except the Lord? Say that. You will see it. You will see Jeremiah 17:9. You will see it. As soon as it is successful for nothing move, all of you who screaming all over the place, you will see how these guys now will start treating you. So it is against their rule. It is against the rule to take bribe. To take bribe. That alone worth investigating. And they are not, they are conscienceless. None of them can even bring that up. But that's what I said yesterday. All falls on LACC lab now. It's up to you. And then to close on this, the deputy speaker has to be consciously decisive. I saw his communication, and I don't think he needs or should continue to be indecisive. He has to be decisive. If he is with Speaker Fonati Kofa, he must remain. He must say it. If he's going to the 42 mercenaries and becomes the 43 mercenary, he must say it. And the last thing you ever want to do is to betray your boss. You will be successful, but there are two things going to happen. Whenever you betray your boss or whosoever that is close to you, that is working with you, on top of it, the person sees you as a credible, reliable person and places his or her trust in you, and you betray that person, two things going to happen. Listen carefully. One, your conscience will never, ever be clear as long as you exist on this earth. How do I know that? Because God, who created all of us, said it. You will never, ever have peace. Your conscience in any and everything would never serve you right. The second thing is you will never ever be trusted by the very people whom you work for against your boss to betray him. They will not trust you. And here is why they will not trust you, because if you can allow yourself to be used by them to betray your boss, somebody within their circle too can use you to betray them. So they will treat you with skepticism and doubt. That is why it's never good to betray your boss. Whatever, stand with him. If it will cause the two of you to lose or be defeated, let it be. And you live with a clear conscience and credibility, and God himself will open doors of opportunities for you than to betray your colleague. Betrayal is a character of the devil. Betrayal is never a character of a normal human being. Betrayal is a character of the devil. So, Fala, you have to be decisive. You cannot continue to be indecisive. Those people, those 42 mercenaries, should not be giving you ultimatum when they do not have the power. The only reason they're giving you ultimatum, listen, the thing is as simple to understand, my dear. This is the mind game. There is something called the mind game in politics. And if you're not sensitive enough, if you can discern, you will regret it. This is the mind game. The guys got the number, but they do not have the power. So you need 42, and they're fighting the best they can to arrive at the 42. In such a situation, we come hard. We make some statements to some people, all because we want to increase our number, not legitimacy. If the deputy speaker went on that side, it doesn't say because the deputy speaker is there, therefore, we've got the number 49. It will only mean that one person has been added to us or added himself to us, but it doesn't give any legitimacy to that group. And that's why the executive said they can only do business with the Kofa faction. Why? Because the Kofa faction has the power. And the other people on the side is just the number. So what they are doing is they're fighting. They're playing the mind game. So if the deputy speaker is soft, weakling, then he will go on that side. When he goes there, nothing extra. When he presiding, it will not mean anything. He cannot go to the executive. He cannot call Mr. President and say, I am the speaker. We're doing this. We're doing that. Nobody will do business with him, as nobody is doing business with that group. They will only gather and say they're having session. And that's, sorry to say, that's sheer stupidity. You having session, but you don't have legitimacy. Then what kind of session you having? Because the essence of meeting is to come out with a decision that will impact society, that will be accepted by the two branches of government or the executive. But you having session, you going nowhere, you only revolving. Then what is the essence? So what they're doing is the mind game. And this is why the deputy speaker has to be decisive. I can tell him where to go. He's man enough. He's above 18. I'm only saying he has to be decisive. That will be doing it for that. So now let's go to you. Have your say on the show Rea Talk on Kings 88.5 with me, Sam Andrews, on this 30th day of October 2024. At 4 o'clock, the university professor is in to crisscross historically the doctoral program at the University of Liberia. Few calls as quickly as we can on 0772 23 99 33 0886 30 44 97. The female line 0777 980375. Hello. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much, my brother. William W. Wu, official spokesperson for the Liberian Civil movement.
Let's hear you.
Let me say thank you for your the topic. What I want to join you with Sam. Those guys are very hampering this country because you got to get a number. Why you can't get a number to do your thing? And when you can go sit on and make jabo easy to confront him, whatsoever you are bringing on board, but you don't want to do that, doing things on your own. And this is hampering our country because when you cannot sit and when the issue of this country cannot be discussed and yet doing things on the side, I mean, we don't know where we are going. And like you said to Honorable Father, you can stay with your boss, see what you do, be on the rightful trajectory, but don't be jittering. Don't be jittering. Do as your mind tells you to do. You can consult you got people where you take decision. No, you are man enough. Thank you so much, my brother. Let me go ahead.
Thank you for calling. Have a nice day. 0772 2399 33 0886 673. That's 0886 30 44 97 0777 98 0375. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You want to move away from the radio? Hello.
Good afternoon, my dear brother, and good afternoon to the Kids FM family. Hello?
Yeah, we're listening to you.
Oh, okay. I don't want to know what I clear. Let me say thanks to you first for your effort that you always take and make sure that Liberian people receive and get the best information that is in the interest of our beloved democracy we are enjoying. Because the information has the propensity to undermine the democracy. It also has the propensity to stabilize the democracy.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm saying a big thanks to you. But for the recognitions, I'm pocket Robert. What's up?
No, let's hear you, Poker Robert.
Yeah. I am the dynamic PRO of the regular intellectual militant of the Blue Revolutions, in extensions, the mathematical correlations of democratic change. And I join from the mathematical correlation of democratic change headquarters. You make it very clear and emphatic to the public, and he left with them to be the judgment. He left with us, with the public, to be the judgment. But he said it very categorically. The issue of the speakership, that the executive will look, trust me, they can even end the administration of the executive. They can end the administration of the excellency. Seriously speaking, because mind you, people also reference things and feel like in the best interest. So, because yesterday it happened. So you will tell that we will continue on our path and we will know the law that is governing all of us as a country. We will know it. But because it happened to drop down yesterday, we're happy to poke out today. Today, if you have been happy before for political power, it will be a precedent that will set as a few-minded country. Those people that call themselves quote-unquote majority, that the behavior of bandits. Because man, someone will use the kind of attitude to say, why would you do that? But when you see the behavior of the people, it's all in the behavior of bandits, rebels. That's how they behave. When you think you get power with Santicofa, go to the public, go to the chamber. Let the whole public be the witness. And tell your grievances to the
all right, okay, Robert, thank you. Hello.
But the conclusion issue of Tomofala. You see, for us, with the
hello.
Yeah, I'm Oscar, the Vision Repair Card, keeping Poker Field of the Fire to deliver. You know, I will go to K1 Gonglo and the financial era today because we don't have the time. You know, you put it right. You know, the Unity Party people are like when you are drowning in the water, any dry leaf that comes around you, you want to hang on it, that what happening to them. When these financial institutions give their money, it comes a whole lot of restriction, it comes a whole lot of money. When you do this, you get this. How come you will go, you credit, you have to pay back, and it's going to be jumping all over here that people are allowing you to credit 210 million? Look at even your budget monthly, your monthly salary to pay civil servants. Okay? You're not thinking about that. Then our federal ministry already making the commitment of pay at 300 million every annually. Okay? Are you thinking whether we'll be able to raise the money? As you were saying, businesses are very slow. How does your government raise money? It comes from the domestic revenue. Okay, to make sure the know that will collect this money and pay some of the money to the people that they are talking about.
Thank you so much. Just do it quick. Our guest is already in.
Yeah. Quickly to Gonglo. Gonglo is saying all school. I don't know why you're talking about both public and private school. If it is both private and private school,
but he said schools across the country, so it covers private and public.
No, but that is not feasible because you government is not sponsoring or private school. So if you say all correction fees are free, where are we getting money from to subsidize the other people? They are not government institutions.
Thank you.
Everybody just trying to find some relative around your house.
Thank you so much. All right. Thank you. Time is of the essence. Our guest is in. Just so you know, or a reminder, that the government or the Unity Party government launched the PhD program at the University of Liberia. No sooner had the launch went into place, the Unity Party-led government said it was and has become the first in Liberia from 1822 to 1847, from 1847 to 2003. No president, no government ever thought about that. Unity Party is the first. Hence, they have made history with the introduction and launch of the program. We talk about it from our own perspective. And so I thought over the days to get an expert in this area, somebody who has lived within the academic sector, both in and out of Liberia for a protracted period. No better suited person than university professor Ara Kofa Klaw, who has crisscrossed several universities of Liberia instructing to come and share his thoughts on this and other issues within the academic realm of Liberia. Let me say thank you so very much for coming in, Mr. Klaw. You kind of very, very busy, hard to get, and it is an opportunity for me after a frantic effort to finally get you to come and explain the situation to our people. Good afternoon, sir.
Well, Sam, thank you so much. Good afternoon, and good afternoon to all of our listeners who are on our voice to listen to us and give our own view and our own opinion on how it works. So I want to say thank you to the King's family for the invite. Thank you very much.
When the launch was announced and took place, how did you receive it? What did run through your mind?
Well, firstly, what I want to say here is the issue of having a PhD program or a terminal degree program at the University of Liberia is long overdue, for the fact that in the 70s and in the 80s, where we had the Fulbright scholars and professors, we thought at that time the idea of master program and PhD would have been introduced. But it was based on selfish reasons. Those who are the aim of affairs at the university in the power corridor, they thought that introducing the kind of programs we made other people to compete with them. So for this reason, they went to bed, they couldn't get her to talk about this kind of program. And knowing full well that Liberia, being the first African country to have an independence, I thought we would have had it in before other countries like Ghana. In the sub-region, let's just use the sub-region first, in the sub-region. But then these countries that came after us, after independence, they are all having all these programs, the PhD, the master, and the rest of that. And before I can even touch the issue of the launch, to have a PhD program is not a big deal. Just that our people at the time, as I said earlier, they never wanted competition. For the fact that if they allow people to have PhD locally, there will be a lot of competition. both in the private and the public sector. Even the issue of the master program, it just came in. Not too long. It didn't take too long. Almost 25 years when they introduced the issue of master program. But what we are seeing here is in the sub-region, before you can start the PhD program, even 2 PhD holder can start a program, a granted degree area.
Yeah, before you go to the technical aspect of it, it is not a new thing in Liberia. It's not a news in Liberia.
If you want to go for that one, I can just go there before I can come back.
Because the executive mansion said it is the first. That means no one had ever thought about it. Such arrangement had never come to earth before Liberia's earth. They brought it.
So the question would be, under whose administration at the University of Liberia this program started? And the first thing should come to our mind. If anyone who will say that it is through the administration of the president, Joseph Boakai, then I live a differ. Therefore, in the sense that this program was already in the making from the Joshua time. I at the University of Liberia, I think the last 2 years coming to the close of Joshua tenure, Dr. Nestin, who was the past immediate president, started his work. They had a committee, technical committee to do this kind of work. He went from country to country to see how they can tailor a PhD program to that of ours. So it started as far back as a year or 2 ago. Dr. Nestin is the one that initiated this program, started the program, the technical work, and the rest of that.
So we can say that it was the CDC government that initiated the PhD program.
Well, I don't understand.
Because you say it started with Dr. Nelson,
yes, indeed,
laying the groundwork,
indeed,
and then the latter part of Rea's regime.
Yeah. I don't understand us in this country. When the government, and any government that takes place, they want to claim glory in the rest of that. I don't see it that way for me. Because government is continuity. So anything you meet on the plate of your predecessor, the idea is you must try as much as possible. When you think it is prudent for you, you continue it. So it's not an issue of blowing trumpet. Oh, I'm the one that started. I'm the one that ended. I'm the one. No, I don't see it that way. But definitely speaking, and to be truthful to the people that are listening to us, this program started. The technical aspect of this program started as far back as a year or 2 ago. And most of all, when we heard about the program, most of us, what a delay for each time, all the lecturers. Sometimes we take issues. But Dr. Nestin, what's the delay? They say we should start it by now. Oh, we are doing the technical work. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Now, it was at the verge to have been concluded. Even if Dr. Nestin was the one to have launched it, he would have given the historicity of that. But people who are from the University of Liberia, who are the technical people, they are listening to me. If they say I'm lying, then they can call. But the program started as far back a year or 2 ago. So you tell me now, just look at the logic. If we are saying that it started with the Unity Party, because I don't want to go through that route, with the new government. The new government is now 9 months ago to establish and study kind of program. It has a lot of technical work. So you cannot tell me that under 8 months, that a content just came in. So who started it? It's logical. So who started the program? Is that Dr. Conte?
What does it take to set up a PhD program at a university?
There's a history I'll go into. I said, hey, if you want to start a PhD program or any program, you must have 1 or 2 PhD in the department you want to start with. Let's assume that you want to start with education. If you look in the department, if you come in College of Education, if you have 2 PhD, you can start a program. But as I said earlier, because People were stiff-necked. They don't want competition.
That is the singular criteria, or one of the criteria for setting up a PhD program.
It should be, yes, and you have the kind of the caliber of faculty. But most especially, if you want to start a PhD program or any program within the university, firstly, you should have 2% that have a terminal degree. They can start. 2% that have a terminal degree, they can start a program. Then as times go by, you begin to recruit. So at the time, some of will get frowned up with the university administration. Because if you look in the College of Education at the University of Liberia, you have a lot of PhD, you have more than 3, 4, 5 persons. So why they were wasting time? Why the delay? But as I said earlier, Sam, that's the same thing I'm saying. Because of competition, they're afraid that if we open this kind of program, you'll see a lot of people that will be trooping in. And you will find out that the entire Liberia, because people are hungry enough for PhD, there are a lot of people that are hungry to go for PhD. And they do not have the means to leave their home, because leaving your comfort home, your comfort zone, going to other countries, probably may not have enough money to live with your family, even to live on, and to pay the tuition.
You mentioned that 2 persons, even if you got 2 persons,
yes, 2 PhDs
with the requisite PhDs, can start the program. Talk about the facilities. There are factors that must be conducive enough academically to get the PhD off the ground, not only having the specialty of individuals with PhDs.
Same, that's the first phase. The second phase is, do you have the environment? The environment is the second phase, because you are talking about terminal degree. You're not going to keep people in the heat. You're not going to keep the terminal or degree or students in, even to use the kind of armchair we have been using from kindergarten days to this present. You cannot do that. Even if I somebody in the environment, the facilities, what are the facilities you are talking about at the PhD program? You must have those bathroom set up. You must have the whiteboard set up. You must have the projectors set up. In each classroom, you should have a projector. So anyone who comes from out to come and visit your program, let them feel that, yes, indeed, these people are arrived. So these are the things. But the first and foremost, understand that you should have these 2% or 3 terminal degree. Hold on. Then you begin now to talk about it. The program is talking about the facilities and the rest of that.
Those factors exist at the University of Liberia for that program.
Yeah, to some extent.
The environment is conducive enough for that.
They are set up. They are set aside some classrooms for that program. So those classrooms are being decorated the way it should be.
So using the armchairs you talk about.
No, they're not going to use.
No library.
No, there will be a library, but most often.
Not there will be a library. You are not the spokesperson for the university. You are a neutral person, though you lecture there. But your role here is to explain the technical aspect of a setup of a PhD program. So one of the main things is a library that will represent a PhD program.
Sam, I do agree with you. As I said, these are the facilities that we need, the environment. But the first and foremost is set up the program. That's the reason we've been lacking beyond. Sam, to begin something is difficult. But you have to start up to know where you are going to. For the fact that if you say, look, I don't have a library, I don't have a this, I don't have that, I will not start. There will be keeping there since 1847, as you were saying. Up to now, Liberia should have been, all of the universities should have been talking about, all public universities, because we had established public university colleges all around the country now. So, but now we should be talking about PhD. Sam, that may be very real to you in Nigeria before they could start this program. They went through the highway. There were some that were lacking, certain things were lacking. But the idea is, look, we tired going to London. The first university that got in touch, it was a University of Ibadan. Ibadan was used as an annex to the London School of Economics. So what they normally used to do, they prepare the student and the student go to London. But the Nigerian government looked at it and said, no, they have become so hard and difficult for our people. In as much, school in London, they are using one of our campuses as an annex. Why can't we host a program itself here? So the government went to work and they put everything together. At the end of the day, they started their program, the undergrad, the master, and the PhD. So now all of the universities in Nigeria now, they are offering PhD, master, and the rest of that. But it was not a bread and butter before they could start the programs. They went through the highway. They had some miss or halves in the process, meaning that everything was now okay. But they break the storm. They said, we must have it. At times go by, we'll be making correction. But saying, if we say yes, look, we don't have library, we don't have this, we don't have that. So at the end of the day, you will continue to be down. You will continue to be down. You continue to be down. People will just be running from here. Ghana, let's go to Ghana. Oh, let's go to Nigeria. Just yesterday, Rwanda. These are our own local made. We have to give the support no matter what. Yes, there will be others that will criticize that. There will be others that no, let's continue. Let's do what we can do. As times go by, this thing will be corrected.
The university is congested. Main campus, Fender, and like the Louis Arthur Graham School of Law is separate. A doctoral program encompasses several areas, and like we see in other countries, they are separate from the rest. Is that facility spacious enough to secure the doctoral side?
Now, Sam, as you were saying, you said another more piece for the program.
No, but you taught at the University of Liberia for several years.
I know. I know. I'm saying.
My question is premised on that.
No, but there's a new program. There's a new program. And I believe those that introduced the idea, they are set aside. As I said earlier, when Dr. Nelson started moving on with this kind of thing, they were always telling us, informing the business college, that business college got to relocate to Fender because all of these programs will be hosted in Morovia on the Capitol Hill. So I believe that as times go by, we will be relocated to the Fender campus, where the entire Capitol Hill campus going to be used for both master and the PhD program. So if you go in the GD building, I think they started preparing those rooms for the PhD program. Yeah. So Sam, it's not an issue. You know, Liberia, we have a serious problem. To cherish our own thing is difficult. By the time Sam brings in an idea that must be localized, having seen other things outside, and saying, so let's localize this thing. I mean, that thing can't work, my leader thing, it can't work. Forget about that. They will discover. There are people who can kill dreams. There are people who can kill vision. Liberia, we are many.
Is it sustainable?
Yes, indeed. It should be sustainable, and it is. If you say sustainability, what do you mean if you say sustainability?
Can this government sustain it?
Why not? Why not? Why would the government not sustain it? It's a matter of just looking at the salary structure in a sub-region and compare to what we want to give those that want to teach here. So let's assume that in Ghana or in Nigeria, or let's just say in the Ivory Coast or Sierra Leone, let's use Sierra Leone as a case study. If Sierra Leone were paying a PhD lecturer 3,000, let's just assume, or 4,000, and in as well we are beginning, we can say, look, a PhD holder, we can give you 3,500 or 3 or 2,500, because in pricing, what you do, it was let me go back to salary and wages administration. Let me go back to management a little bit. When you want to set a salary, if you have a new establishment, you want to set a salary. What you do, those that have been existing, you go to them. How much do you give an accountant or a chief accountant, or I give chief from this? How much do you just go from area to area? Then you have 3. If you have 3 different salaries, then in that 3, you could divide that 3 into to see to start the pay, you got to divide it, the salary, you got to divide it. You add it or you divide it by 3. The one in the middle, you take it. So what I'm saying is, if you want a salary on the salary, we paying our PhD lecturers for 2005. So you come by, you go to the other side, they say we are paying 2,000, we are paying 3,000. So in between there, it could take one. So look, we can pay people for 3,002 or 2003 in the meantime, because that's the beginning of the program. Though you have those that you will contract, that you will recruit, you sit with them, discuss with them. It's a new program. We are not seeing the enrollment yet, but as times go by, when the enrollment shall have increased, then we'll begin now. Incrementally, we increase that salary. How you do it? So I believe that the government can sustain the program. They can sustain the program, because that would be the best time now. As you were saying, if somebody say, I want to get a glory, they got to sustain it. So you say, well, yes. Though we didn't initiate the program, we made a program on when we took over. But to sustain it now is the problem for us. So we have to do that to make our name. So the issue of sustainability, I don't see it as an issue. I think the government can do that.
And then how many programs you think, given our society, given our culture, given our academic lowness, please accept it that way, how many programs you would think that the program should incorporate?
Well, in establishing programs like a terminal degree, like a master program, it depends first, where do you have your strength? Where you can recruit the lecturer that you have, you'll be able to recruit them very fast, as quickly as possible. Like as I said earlier, at the University of Liberia, at the College of Education, you have a lot of PhD. So they are starting with our education program. So as times go by, when they see the numbers of lecturers on the master level that have PhD, then they'll go back to the Ministry of National Commission, High Commission. Look, we want to do this. We want to add an additional program. Then you will send the CVs. Because before you can establish it, you must go through the High Commission, where they will be able to look at the credentials of those that are going to teach these programs. Who are they? They will vet this document as well, where they came from. Having done so, then they give you the go-ahead that yes, you can add another program. If you want to do the business, yeah, add a business program, because we are going through all of the CVs and the credentials you are sent. We are done the vetting. I think you can go ahead. There it goes.
What are the programs you think they need to jumpstart with, given our
education? They are starting with education. They are starting with education.
They should start with education.
No, that I would say it. It's the kind of number of...
Yeah, but from a societal standpoint, I'm asking you from our academic standpoint, it is an introduction. It's the first time. So you're not going to do a blanket introduction of various programs. You want to start with specific areas. Maybe say education, say medicine. So my question is, can they start with 2, 3, 4?
Probably you are now following. Sorry to say it. I said they are.
But you're only talking about education.
Yeah, that education they are starting with the College of Education.
So it should only be education for now.
Only. Let me explain it again. I said before you can, from my introduction, probably before you can start any program, you must have 1 or 2 PhDs in that area of discipline. That will make you to say, look, I want to start this program. And I said earlier, before you start any program, you must go through the National High Commission on Education. Then they will ask you, when you have to apply first. When you apply to the commission, High Commission, then they will ask you, okay, you want to do this program? Yes, I want to do a PhD program. They will ask you, which area do you want to do your PhD program? They will ask you, High Commission will ask you, hello, I want to start with 3 programs. Let's just put it this way. I want to start with education. I want to start with business. I want to start with probably in the arts area. It's okay. We don't have a problem with that. Could you please now send us the documents, those people that are going to teach in that area? In sending that document, if you fall short of any of the program that have more or less a PhD, then it's okay. What we'll do, we'll okay this one. We're not going to. Let me just give you an example. When Zion was starting the master program, I just want to give you an example. We went through that, we apply, blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. After we had done that, say, okay, send your documents. All those, because we apply for 4 areas: agriculture, criminal justice, education, divinity, and business. 5 programs. I've been going through all these things. No, you guys will not qualify for criminal justice, divinity, and education, because having vetted all of the documents. So they only gave us 3 programs. So yeah, if you found necessary that you have the other qualification in this area, those people that in that discipline, then you reapply. I mean, you can apply again rather. So it's step by step, not just because St. Andrew say, I want to be there. No. It does not work that way. High Commission will vet all of the documents you sent to them. Then they will tell you, they will come even to the site to inspect. They're going to do inspection of facilities. And they know what they want. The kind of facility you have may qualify you or may not qualify. That's why the fact that you have this PhD or the PhD group you have, as I was saying, the kind of lecturer. But the facility also counts a lot. So High Commission having done
the 2 of them go hand in hand.
Yes. So after they are done their inspection, if they want to help you in the process, they will say, look, before we will not grant you, will not give you the permit until you can do this, satisfy that, satisfy that. After you are satisfied, they will come for a second inspection. Those things that you are satisfied, say, okay, fine. I think we are okay now. You can go ahead. Then when you will do your launching, they are going through all those ones at the University of Liberia. If they are not done so, it will never go through. You know how long they have been behind or High Commission? But they couldn't meet the criteria. Even at one point in time, they said, look, High Commission should start a PhD program. High Commission start a PhD
That is surety,
program.
or you assuming they've been doing all of that before the launch?
Which one? The inspection?
Yeah, they've been doing all of that with the Higher Commission.
No, that is not an assumption. That's what they have been doing.
That is the prerequisite before the launch.
Before you can, even before they can announce you, before you can receive your permit. All of those things must be satisfied. Though it may not be 100%, as I said, but to some extent, maybe to a greater extent, like around 90, 95, it's okay. Yeah. In the process, while you are doing now, you are moving on. It's like under the law of Liberia, before you open a business, they will give you 3 months while you are doing your preparation to open your area, to process all your business document. But in that event, they can still allow you to do your business. They give you 3 months grace period under the law before you can establish a business. So if you fall short of that 3 months, what they expect you to do, Commerce will lock you up. Because after you might have satisfied all what they told you to do, then they will give you your license now. So it's the same as the High Commission. High Commission, they have their checklist that they will give you. You got to satisfy this, you got to satisfy that, you got to do this, you got to do that. So you'll be looking at your own checklist, what you are satisfied. You reach the point, you reach the point, and you call them, you know, I think we are reached to some level. They will come and do the inspection.
I saw a list, though I don't want to consider it definitive, but supposedly individuals who will be teaching the doctoral program, and some of those names we are aware who came with the masters. I saw a couple of them, masters in public health, masters in days. And so the argument was, these are people going to be lecturing the doctoral program. Does master holder teach doctoral program?
Same.
Please answer the question directly. It may look nursery, but answer it.
Same. You just want to tease me.
My man, they're not teasing.
No,
they're not teasing you, Prof.
No, but sir, excuse me.
But how will I tease? Why will I tease a university professor?
No, that's what you are doing. Because it does not make sense.
No, you
I'm coming now.
But I told you about a list.
No, I'm coming. That list, probably somebody want to make mockery out of the program. Which, of course, we have serious problem. Every one of us has problem. Those are that even teaching the master program. In other countries, even master cannot teach a master unless it's an exceptional case. But as I said,
exceptional case.
Yes.
What is that exception?
Mean that you are an extraordinary person in that area. You are specifically
an authority.
In that area. Probably okay. Somebody said they can because two masters in PhD are the same master, but probably you have two masters in that same area, not different area. In that same area, maybe you got a master in journalism, but which area of journalism? Maybe radio. Then when they again, you got another master in what? In news, whatsoever you may be, because you know your area fine. Then if they open a master program at the U or any other university, they could say Sam would be an exceptional person, because if you look at his CV and look at all the degree he has, I think it can better be there and manage with him. But as I said, this is like the beginning of everything is difficult. It's difficult. So if you see a master teaching master, we accept it, that what the society accept. But on the contrary, where you will be telling me, saying that you have a list that those who are master will be so why are you going to say PhD, terminal degree, then you get master? Does it make any sense? No sense. If it cannot pass the common test, the common sense test, if you brought in a common sense test, it will not pass it. So Sam, you just want to play kid, you are just playing fun. No, Sam, but it's not possible. It's not possible, Sam.
Okay, I think we have exhausted on that. Thanks ever so much for sharing your thought. That's one of the reasons I call you in. What's your observation about the tertiary sector? How is it going?
Well, as I said, from time to time, I've been saying we have a lot of work to do. But most especially, as I said, the work should begin from the kindergarten level to elementary, then high school. Because the preparation starts from the kindergarten. The way you will prepare those children, those kids, whatsoever you tell them, that's what they will go by. And that's what they will live with until they get to elementary. That's what they will live with until they get to the junior high. That's what they will live with until they get to the high school. So owing to the fact that these are the things you are trained them to, when they are getting to the university, it becomes easier for them. But something I told you the last time, it was last year. The value system are eroded in our school system. Everybody now running after money. Preparators, principals,
professors, TAs.
Yeah, everybody running after money. So if a child fails in this school, the child parent takes him. They take the child to another school, to another grade. Then that school does not care to investigate. All what they know, they want to see the school to be packed with the students to make their money. So Sam, we must, Ministry of Education, the last time I said it, that we should set aside a commission, early childhood commission, that will be a commission by itself, but not under the authority of Ministry of Education. It must be an autonomy. That is, that commission will be there to regulate how people going to start the childhood education and who are going to teach them. In Liberia, if you got a master's degree, if you didn't teach grad school. They say you are nothing. But say, look, let me go and teach elementary school. And then you get master, you go to elementary. There where you already start from. You go to the America after.
Master degree holder
can teach elementary.
Start from elementary.
Yes.
Isn't it demeaning academically?
No, because our way of thinking in Liberia, master, you can teach high school as well. You can do that because they expect you to nurture those children to a level, to a standard that even when you stand before them, they will know who's standing before the judge.
But that is for bachelor. Master, the acumen, the IQ is so very high.
It doesn't mean. This all, you know the reason? Because we don't have training. How many all can go for training? Teacher training. This is before you teach. The America will continue to talk about, no matter what they get 10 degrees, you want to go in a classroom, you won't go for a certificate. You must be licensed. How many all are licensed? That's another thing. The Ministry of Education will look at. Nearly all teachers must be licensed.
Why?
Thank you. The license will serve as a deterrent of you not going to do things that are not correct. Because you have been trained. After you have been trained, they will give you a license. The license will curtail you from doing other things that are unorthodox.
And anything to the contrary, it can be revoked.
Thank you. Because when you're a licensed teacher, it serves as a stamp for you. So if you do things that are not correct, even if you brought in your curriculum, they give you a warning because we train you. You should know how to set your curriculum very well. You should know how to set whatsoever. So if you miss it 1 or 2 times, they revoke your license. You know what I mean when they revoke your license? You cannot go teach any other school. Because before you go to any other school, they will ask you after you apply, you must send a copy of your license.
Who will revoke that license? The National Commission on Higher Education?
Yes. Or if it stems from Ministry of Education can do that. Both of them can do that. Either High Commission can do that. I think High Commission will be the best person to license people. All discipline. So if you were an elementary teacher, you must be licensed. If you were a kindergarten teacher, you must be licensed. If you were a high school teacher, you must be licensed. Whatever university teacher, you must be licensed.
You put the problem at the feet of money. Is it the same with various or the university institutions? Is it the same?
Which
you
one?
say everybody going for money.
No, the money I'm talking about. The money I'm talking about is that if I say the value system have been eroded, that is, people don't check on students. Even at the level of university as well. I'm talking about enrollment. Because I said there are problems in the universities, in the tertiary system, because people after money. I said school owners, they just after money. Principals, they do not want to know whether this guy brought the correct credentials.
It's no longer about standard.
Fine. Before, just imagine at that time, the issue of technology was not to the level. Even there was no technology, you know that I know at the time. Now, why is it that students were not just living from one high school to another or from one school to another during those days? Just imagine there was no technology. But the people put the culture together. It was a culture. It was a culture that no student will live from one area to another without proper documentation. But nowadays, somebody can go to World Trade Center and your private documents, go to jump to another high school. Even during those days, you cannot be in 11th grade, they take you. But nowadays, schools are doing it. Then with the understanding that, we were living Pinsville, we relocated to Broadway, so I have to. No, your parents should try. Your parents should try. So you see that? So people just that's the reason, the problem I'm trying to tell you about it. So by the time these people become half big, they get to the university, it's a problem for us.
There's this thing of bribe, money giving, money receiving that has permeated or infiltrated almost all schools, universities, to the extent that people just relax now once they have the dialogues and you are in that sector, the university. Uh, what, how has it been over the time you've observed a drop in that? It stay happening, it rampant, or what?
Oh, Sam, let me be very frank with you. These things still exist. The only time this thing can be curtailed, it takes the heads of all universities, be it high school whatsoever, will come down hard that it will be a zero tolerance on bribery. Even with the issue of getting around females. So when the heads make that kind of pronouncement by the called general meeting law, we will not tolerate this thing in our society, meaning that on the campuses. After the head matter talk, then the heads now we have, because there will be some students that are anti these things. You know that? So you look among those students, you take 1 or 2, 3. Hello.
It is hard to
That is why
it is hard to control. Then imagine the average place, the university.
no, it can be controlled. And that's the reason the anti-corruption club, this coming semesters, among all university, high schools, we have our people there. The anti-corruption club.
A new setup?
Yeah.
It's in place?
In place. We sooner or later we'll soon launch it.
Anti-corruption club,
yeah.
A conglomeration of various universities?
Yeah, not only university, not only high school, but we spread all around in the public and private areas, in the various ministry and agency as well. Even in the churches, mosques, and the rest of that, communities. Because look, Sam, let me be very real to you. You know what corruption does to the country, to society? It eats up the total fabric. It denounces a lot of people. It denounces a lot of people from getting what they're supposed to get. How can you have 5 men with 1,000 people money? Then they're bragging over the money in their pocket. Then when they come to you after they are taking your money, they give you $50. Then people start clapping for them. Oh yeah, the brother is good. People that you perceive as corrupt people. So this thing must be curtailed. Just imagine what is happening now at the level of the house. People we consider to be honorable people. And don't forget to know, you know, Samson, I listen to this thing. Oh, people are looking at it from one way. Oh, the people want so the people don't want to. No, Sam. In as much we take money to people, that inducement to vote for you is corruption. You know that?
So when instructors, professors, instructor, TAs, whatever, they request money, not only is it an inducement or they are induced, the fact that they agree for that to give into that seduction, it is a corruption.
It is. It is. Bribery under the law of Liberia is a crime. It's a big crime. Even recent time.
How are you guys trying to curtail or to bring that down at the university level?
Sam, you know, in ethics, business ethics to us, that the affected or the victim will be the one to complain. If no one complains, do you look for a case? So my point here is, all those who have been affected by this criminality, they should be the one to come up with this kind of thing. Even recently, before Zion could close the come to the graduation, before the semester, even the beginning of the semester, I went from class to class, making students to know that do not fall prey to the corruption of lecturers. Even I went to work, I said, look, if you are caught, even if the lecturer was caught, you and the lecturer will be expelled. But still,
if you are caught giving money to the lecturer,
yes,
or the lecturer influencing,
whichever way, one money exchange ends, and you both of you are caught that you are the giver and he is the receiver, that aiding and abetting, that corruption, both of you must be expelled.
but it wouldn't have impact on the instruction. Will it have any impact? The instructor will go to teach. Normal, the student will get the lecture.
No, but no, so you are missing the thing. Why you got a lecture?
But if money is given, and the man receive the money, what will he do? He goes to class.
No, Sam.
He goes. He instruct the person who gave the money. The person who gave the money. What impact is going to have on the person negatively? Will the person not receive instruction?
No, the person is a corrupt person. Really. You are part of the crime. You are part of the crime. So we continue to tell them, say, I cannot come to you, Sam. I'll collect $50. Then you join. He still said, no, stop, Chief. We cannot do that, bro.
But that cannot be curtailed in this society of ours.
No, as I said, ethically, it's wrong. But who is ready now to bring up? But who a better cat?
You guys who are the stakeholders in the university sector. You guys, the honors is on you, and you guys are not exerting.
No, but
so you guys are accomplice to the crime.
No. You can't say that. As I said earlier, I went from class to class. Even gather the students, having a general meeting. We will not encourage any lecturer to take money from students. Equally so, students, we will not encourage any of you to get money to lecturer. So when a lecturer call for money, do X, Y. They are not doing it. They will go, it will say it here, it will carry money, it will be this, they will be this. So who are you doing it to? We cannot just go grab, send. You taking money from students. The same way I say, why did I take money from students? The student come on, yes. Now, let me just give you an example. Typically, when Dr. Brunel was the VPA at the UL, it happened to one the guy came from liberal art college, either in geography. Dr. Brunel already had some guys that she planted in each class. And this guy name was surfacing all of the time. But how will she get on the person back when you don't have a FOC? So he told the guys, look, I think you guys, when you're about to give money to that person, you just signal me. When you're about to do it, when the action is taking place, signal me. So the guy, yeah. So you're ready to get the money now, you try and bring the envelope. Yeah, we'll come here. The other guy walked outside. Dr. Brandon, we're here now, we are in so area, please come. We are about to get the money now. By the time they were handing the money to the man, Dr. Brandon wanted to say, Dr. Brandon said, what the money for? Please give me the money. And come to my office. The lecturer worked there. So today you are dismissed. This is the money. Your name has been surfacing throughout. I wanted a proof. And the fellow was dumbfounded. I think as I learned, I may say, he got pressure, he died. After a year.
How you guys are handling female inducement, influence, seduction?
The one I continue to say same.
It's not easy, huh?
You cannot be a lecturer, then you are influencing the females. You know what you're talking about? It has a psychological effect. Even when the issue of money is concerned, I continue to say it. So if you rather forget about that. If you want to help, I always tell people, if you want to help a student, help without condition. If you don't want to help, forget about that and move on. But when you place a condition, it becomes a problem. At the end of the day, But mind you, when you are tough, someone will make issue and do a lie on you. When you are tough. I can remember.
Sex for grades?
Yes, sex for grades. And which of course is not correct. It is not correct. It is wrong. It is against the teaching ethics. But human being are human being. This thing all over America, they arrested people, they expelled them, lecturers. In Kenya, it happened. In this other country, so many times, Nigeria, they arrested some people, they expelled them out of the university. This thing will always happen, but they are not good. That's what I'm trying to say. Ethically, they are not good.
But it had to bring under control.
Well, under control, it must be eradicated. And the issue under control.
But it can be eradicated, but it can be drastically reduced.
How? How? It must be eradicated. You know, the father.
Eradication possible in this society of ours?
Of course. As you are saying, it depends on the heads of the institutions. How robust they will be. You understand that, saying? The thing is the mind. As I always told students, I said, look, we all are human beings. Lecturer will see female. Female will see lecturer. But notwithstanding, you must curtail them. What we are saying.
Okay, thank you ever so much. Let's go to the line now. You're listening to Rea Talk on Kings 88.5 with me, Sam Andrews. My guest this afternoon on the last lap of the show, University Professor Arakofa Claw. We talk about the doctoral program launch at the University of Liberia. He shared his perspective on it and other issues within the university. It's purely academic lecture today. 0772 23 99 33 0886 30 40 44 97. The female line 0777 983075, and share your thoughts, whatever the question you got for the university professor on the PhD program launch by the University of Liberia. He said it is possible you can get started with two PhD holders. The environment got to be conducive, everything needed for it, and the university had sought out everything, or most, if not all, he said, with the National Commission on Higher Education, which led them to move to formally launch it. 0772 23 99 33 0886 30 44 97. The female line 0777 980375, and then you can ask Professor Claude whatever the question you got for him on the show in the next few minutes, and then we are out of here. Jones Pally said, yes, the professor is right, making reference to Nigeria. I was there. I know how the PhD program started there. So he's right. And the other person, Emmanuel Brawl, said, my dear county brother and friend Arakofa Claw. Okay, he's asking how you're doing. And who else commented on it? Duada Vani Sharif. He said, it was announced during we are presidency by Dr. Nelson, but the professor said it. He said it started in the latter part of Weir's regime. So the two of you are saying the same thing. Who has commented on it? No, okay. No, not talking about UL election. All right. 0772 2399 33 0886 30 44 97 0777 980375. The numbers to have your say. Ask the Professor Arakufa Claw on what we talk about. 0772 2399 33. It's 0886 30 44 97 0777 980375. And the professor will answer your question. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Thank you, Brother Sam Andrews.
Yes, sir.
And I want to say thanks to our professor in studio there. I want to honor him from the professor where he talk about trying to get rid of something like sex for grades and sex for all the different things. I want to honor. You say you can eradicate that. For me, I don't know how you're going to eradicate that. Suppose the children leave the school, go to the teacher's place, do their work there, and later on the teachers prepare special grades and things for the children. How do you get rid of such a person who is not doing it at school?
Okay.
That's my question.
Thank you so much.
I'm Brother Jeremiah Watterson calling from Broadway anyway.
All right, Jeremiah. The professor will answer your question. Hello? Hello?
Yes, good afternoon.
What is your name and where you call from?
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Andrews. And also, I want to say hi to Otomanta studio. The Kovaklo is Kelly calling from Banjo.
What is your question you got for the professor?
Yes, my question has to do with he made mention on the teacher also should be rebuffed. And now we find in our education system, they are taking discipline for school, which have to do with switch. And environment mention about spelling runners for the children. So how to bring this back in our society to develop our children from a national level up to a junior level?
Okay. All right. Teachers should be rewarded with their discipline, not compromising it. Hello.
Good afternoon, sir, and let me say hi to our professor for coming to the studio. But I'm a bit confused on the PhD level when you ask the question as to what we need to have before starting. And then you made mention of at least 4, with the whiteboard, the library, the producer chair, the projector. So we want to know, what do we have there now? Do we have at least 2 or 1? Do we have a good armchair? Do we have the projector? Or which one do we have there? We are starting because we want to get a clear understanding of it because that's what you came for. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling. Have a nice day. 0772 23 99 33 0886 30 44 97. Hello.
Hello.
Your name and where you call from?
I'm James Dele calling from 12th Street.
Yeah, James, reduce the volume of the radio or cut it off.
Okay, thank you very much. You getting me clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I want to find out from the professor. He is saying that they don't look for cases. The student has to report a case. There's more in this reality. The professor, for example, says that each student should pay $1,000 to scale their grade from 50 to 70. And he gives his mobile money, the number, and literally send their money on the mobile phone because they need a grade. Do we expect that student to go to the administration to say, I gave money to the professor with a concrete proof? Because if he can go to Lone Star or whosoever TSM to ask for the law because student transacted. When we talk about a female grades for sex, you don't expect the student to go to the professor's house and they did what they're supposed to do in a grade or skill. You expect that female student to come and report herself that the professor did something to me? So these are the questions I want to ask because he said that they will not be looking for a case, they left with the student to go and report the case.
Okay. Yeah, he will address that. 0772 23 99 33 0886 30 44 97. Hello. Hello.
Good afternoon again.
Yes, good afternoon. Your name?
Yes, my name is Kelly Coliver.
Let's hear you called about. What's your question to the professor?
My question to the professor, first I thank you. My question has to do with the program that is about to start. We hear all of what he said, but one thing I didn't hear him talking, and which of course I know this is paramount to our.
You went off, sir. If you can call back to complete your question, they would be fine for us. 0772 23 99 33 0886 30 44 97. The female line 0777 9803 75. Few calls, then the professor can respond, and then we out. Hello.
Hello.
Your name and where you call from?
I'm Sonny Gissing. I call from Mount Barkley.
What is your question?
Mine is not a question specific. I just want to buttress it with professor. I heard many people asking questions. They want to have to do with the female, have an issue with professor or teachers for grade. Some of these things, Liberia is a country where parents, don't their own responsibility. I'm sorry to say, but the thing is, the children spend more time with us, the parents, at home than teachers, right? So the teachers just there, to prop them up to reach certain level. So we as parents, we should take responsibility. Let our children know what is them and what is not good for them. Some of the parents are very reluctant, even to find a study class for students, for their children. They don't do it. To mock their children, as to how they go about studying their lesson, they don't do it. So they just leave them vulnerable. So at the end of the day, the student themselves will be, in a position with everything to get a grade, in order to pass.
Okay,
so parents would need to come up, with something too. It is not just all about the professor or the teacher. Thank you.
Thank you for calling. Have a nice day. 0772 23 99 33 and 0886 34 97 0777 9803 75. A call or two, and then we get to the professor. If not, then he can respond to your questions, and we out. All right, Professor Club.
Yeah.
So you can respond. Huh?
Okay, thank you so much, sir. And thanks to all of our callers for this brilliant contribution in terms of questions and comments. The question, number one question is how can we eradicate sex for grade? The thing is very, very simple. As I said, first and foremost, we, the administrators, should come out, be clear, call a meeting with all of our faculties, tell them what you don't want, your do's and don'ts in the school. These things are there. And that issue of how can we eradicate, you can eradicate this issue by putting stamp on all of those things, that there will be a zero tolerance with the issue of sex for grade. When you are caught, you will be expelled, both the male and the female. I mean, both the male and the female teachers and the students. So the thing is very simple, very, very simple. And with the issue of how do you now go about it? Somebody was asking the question, suppose, or they were making it, suppose you're going in the room, the student go up the campus and all that. That one is a different ball game. If a student left the campus and go to the lecturer office, or his house, that one, they have their own game. But when they are being caught, and it has been known to us, both the lecturer, the female student will leave the school. That's what we are still saying. So it can be eradicated. It is simple. It can be eradicated, my brother. Then the next one has to do with the issue of the PhD program. Yes, you said I didn't name all of those things. The first and foremost thing, I wouldn't know those things that are being placed in the various classroom. I didn't go there to do inspection, but as far as I know, Ministry of Education have done their inspection, not education per se, but High Commission have done their inspection. based on the inspection they are done and of all of the documentation sent by university administration, that's the reason why they're getting a permit. They cannot give you a permit without these things being checked on. So all those things they are being spelled out, are being listed by me. They are being checked by the High Commission on Education. So if you go there now, if you don't see them, it's a different thing. But High Commission would never lie to the public. By virtue of the fact that they get a license to operate PhD program, it means that they are met with the criteria set and the requirements. Then the next one has to do with we don't look for case. Or yes, how can you go look for case if somebody didn't tell you? Can you just be running behind teacher? Oh, I learned that you are doing that. Oh, I learned that you are doing that. The only thing you can do as an authority, you can use the psychological means. Hello, most of you are involved with this, and we have your name. You can do it psychologically. We have your names, but when you are caught, there is no investigation because we already have your name here. Your name are being permeating in the corridor that you are doing that, you are doing X, Y. So if it is being brought to us now by the students or whosoever, it means that there won't be investigation. You will go. But we cannot be running behind people and blah, blah, blah. No, we cannot look for case. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello. 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 Sorry. Somebody asked a question, Professor Claude, about being the teacher should be robust, verbal, and using the biblical line, do not spare the rod. So, in what term you're trying to say robust or institute or how discipline? Maybe it's a reference for you have to come down hard.
Yeah, I think what he's trying to say here is that is those who are in our classrooms, authority must take seize of whatever they are doing and check on them. And as he said, it is true. Some of us just go in the classroom, we don't care from the high school level, university level, and the rest of that. How many person will tell you, hello, bring your core syllabus? Because that's the first thing. The core syllabus will tell you what you're going to teach and what you're going to give the students. So I think that from that point, from that background you're talking about, because whatever you're going to teach will be shown to your department head should approve it. And the core syllabus. The core syllabus should accompany, or your notes should accompany your core syllabus. Because the core syllabus will have a day. To this date, I will be teaching this. On this day, I'll be teaching the other topic. These are the things I think he's trying to talk about. So when the chairman goes through them, he signs on it. Now you can go ahead, you approve it, you can go ahead. But don't forget to know that at the university level, the core syllabus binds you and the student together. So you cannot just go in the classroom without the core syllabus. The core syllabus is between, because whatever you do, even the do's and don'ts, it will be shown in the core syllabus. I don't want for a student to do this, I don't want for a student to do that, and the rest of it. So all these things part of the core syllabus.
Thank you so much, Professor Club, for accepting my invite to come. But before you go, in a few minutes, let's have your observation about the government.
Well, Sandy, to be truthful to you and the listening public, the government need to double our feet. Though we just starting 9 months, people counting months now, they are counting days and all that kind of stuff. I don't think that it should be. Government is a government. Whether you start today, you must show that you start today. Whether you start 1 minute ago, you must show that you start 1 minute ago. So it had nothing to do with the length of time. It has nothing to do with the length of time. Why you can do that? Why you should show the people. But you cannot tell me whether on 8 months or 5 months, it has nothing to do with that. Do what you're able to do. You got to show your dues to your citizens. But for each time people trying to mention other day, oh my man, the government just starting. What you call the government just starting? Somebody can do something today, government can deal with them as well. So it had nothing to do with the time. The time frame has nothing to do with the running of our governance system. It had nothing to do with that. Like my grandma used to say, look, when you were taking bath, we were not there. But the way you greasing that, we know that you take bath good. So
you're seeing breakthrough, you're seeing significant achievement, you're seeing anything different since they ascended to power?
No, the government had a lot of issues that they need to arrange for. The government had a lot of issues. The government needs to go back on the drawing table and make a lot of correction. Just imagine, I was listening to the news, according to what the IG said, quoting the IG, that they are dismissed superintendent and Sembala.
Yeah, 2 persons.
Yeah, Sembala and one other guy. In the first thing, dismissing them is not sufficient. So it means that the IG is playing phone. Somebody will say, what phone? Somebody has brought the government to a public disrepute, public ridicule. They say dismiss them, the people must be processed to court. Even the money they are stolen from the people must be double.
The bribery allegation at the House of Representatives, what is your thought about it? You've been following it, been on for a long time now. We're going into the second month.
Well, second month, people just starting. Second month. They are not going to second month.
But we're going 3 weeks into this speaker's removal bribery allegation.
This is the second week.
No, we passed 3 weeks.
No.
We passed 3 weeks, Professor Claw.
Last week,
Professor Claw.
Last week, Tuesday and Thursday.
Professor Claw.
1 week. This week, Tuesday.
Professor Claw, we have passed 3 weeks. Your counting is different from our counting journalistically.
Okay. So they get journalistic counting. But Sam.
So you will answer, you will give your observation.
Yeah, Sam, for me, what I was saying, let me be very real to you guys. The issue of bribery, that the name of the national legislature, that their name. So it's not strange. So if somebody come up to this, oh, the other man bribe me, no. Sam, if you know the one Jesus told those people when they were about to stone that woman, then Jesus said, look, if you know that you are not committed this deep before, then you'll not be the first to throw the stone. What happened to them? All of them dropped the rock. They dropped their stone. I thought the journalists in this country would have placed every one of them under a microscope. That, look, please tell us, how many of you in our house have not taken bribe before? That's the first thing. All of them are taking bribe, and all of them have been bribing people. All of them. No one person at the level of the national legislation. Even if we go to the Senate, the same old thing. You are saying you know, Sam? Isn't that strange? Even those from the 54, from the 53rd, this is 54 or 55?
55th.
Fine. Those from the 54, from the 53rd to the 54 to the 50th, they all are people, bunch of people who believe bribery. Of course.
Yeah. You almost use one of your words, hooligans.
Yeah. But man, all those guys that are in there, they are not correct. No one person I can challenge anyone.
They are a bunch of hooligans.
Yeah. All of them, they're for stealing. They're suffering the Liberian people. They want the people running away, all the kind of thing. Let me tell you today, the audit they are talking about, I heard the audit from this Musa Belete when he took over there. Oh, the plane must be audited. The plane must be audited. Yes, because it's a new man. And I know why you are looking at. You are looking at the people from the 53rd, 54, and this one. Now, if you carry audit over there, none of those guys will be free. But people use that, people want audit, so people reason. I don't think that. And another thing the journalists are doing in this country, some of you people can taste that. It can be glaring. I have now heard from the journalists, people talk about 6 counts. Are they putting forth these 6 counts, the anti-COFA group? No. All the journalists, man, all they say they both want. No, it means that you people are biased. Sorry to say that. I've been listening to the news station. You go to the other station, okay, what's up with the sales count they talk about? Can you discuss the sales count? Oh, you look at the people on a case. What are they saying? You cannot tell me that the journalist within that sales count, they will not take something that is meaningful, that they can hold on to.
That is your opinion, but I can say to you with very conviction, we have exhausted that. That was dealt with exhaustively because
can you give me two? Can you give me two?
Professor Claude, you will listen. Yes, that is the crust, or that is the crust of the matter.
Okay, go ahead.
So in journalism, that constitutes the news. So you go for that. Simple as that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying,
have you
are buying sentiment, public sentiment?
Yeah. I just brought that so that you
well, we
already.
Yeah, I know, but
I can.
Give me three of the counts they said about.
No. I told you. You said that you have not heard the journalists discussing that, and that is the crux of the whole issue. That is the base. So who will not discuss that? Everybody discussed that, and they discuss that lane. Do you think the executive, the president, has a hand in the potential removal of the speaker?
Well, I wouldn't say, because I don't know if the president has any.
Do you think some kind of shenanigan is taking place from that end?
That I don't know.
But you know that it is possible, it can happen.
Well, if it is possible, until it can be shown. For the fact that those men and women that are on the other side, they are men enough, women enough to do their own decision. So the issue of bribery is not strange to the legislature other than inside. Just imagine they went to Farmington Hotel. How much they took from there? The national legislature, but nobody brought the case. 1 million to Farmington. Senator, they went. Said we should not do the country that way. If we want to discuss Liberia, let's discuss Liberia the best way possible. We should not take side. Let's be very frank. None of them free from bribery. I'm coming.
Yeah,
none of them. Yeah, I know, but none of them free from bribery. All of them. They 73. I challenge them. None of them free from bribery. People don't understand anything. Talk about corruption. Corruption not just money alone. If you're taking the good idea to another idea, which of course was not the initial idea, not corruption. You are corrupted the mind of the people. You're not follow St. Andrew. You're going to do this. St. Andrew is there. Just go to the other side. St. Andrew brought the idea, we got to use the money for this. Then I came here and said, no, that money, we can't use that money for that day. We can use the money for this.
Okay, Professor Claude, we're already into time. Thank you ever so much. Let's have your parting comment in a few seconds, sir.
Well, firstly, I want to thank the King's family for this kind of invite. And I know that we'll always come here, but Liberia is our country. I always ask the question, which way Liberia and which way to go? This is our motherland and our fatherland. We must stay here, no matter what. No matter what. The national legislature, that's social bluff they are doing over there. The time will tell, Sam. They are doing bluff. But time will tell. And when the time tells, you will see who will be, who will not be. On a more serious note, we can now hold the country to that kind of level. Why people continue to steal from the Liberian people? Why?
Okay.
So,
thank you, sir.
We are telling Liberian people, beware. 2029 is in the corner.
You will contest?
I will contest.
It's just dropping in my feeling. You want to be president of Liberia?
Indeed.
Can you be president of Liberia?
I can be.
Do you have the characteristics of a president?
I have.
Can you make a difference?
More than a difference.
Wouldn't you be corrupt more than what we are talking?
I challenge anybody to say, look, Claude, I challenge anybody. I'm on the radio.
You can be a president of this country?
I can be the president of the country.
Is it not an illusion you're living with?
No, not that, Sam. You will see me on the ballot.
2029, you're contesting. What are you doing now? If you contest in 2029, what are you doing now?
It's not the issue. What are you doing now? I'm creating awareness. The public should know.
You're telling people that you will be president 2029. Is that all that you're doing?
No, Sam, leave it. I will not give my strategy to rule against.
Or you're going to be like Professor Tabe, Wilson Tabe, who depended on university students to make him president because you are lecturer for various universities in Liberia.
Sam, besides that, I get followers. Forget about, you know, what we're going to.
But your presidency will be the most corrupt, 10 times corrupt.
Why?
Because when you get there, the system will overwhelm you.
No way, Sam. God forbid. God forbid. The rogues will take the control from the hands. These are rogues, bunch of rogues. These are pharaohs. We must take the country out of the hands of the pharaohs. We have to do. And we must take the country out of the ancient Egypt. We are in ancient Egypt. 2029, we take the country, Sam. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming, Professor Claude. I appreciate you accepting my invite for this talk. I look forward to talking with you again as time passes by and the issues unfold.
And I will always expect that, Sam.
So this is how we'll go home on the show. My guest was the Liberian professor, Arakofa Claude. We talk about the PhD program at the University of Liberia. That's the reason why I call him, and we interspice it with a little bit of politics. We're back tomorrow, if God permits. The news is on at 6, and then followed by Face the Issue with A.B. Wynn. You don't want to miss it. Another fascinating discussion coming up by and through him tonight at 8 o'clock. My name is Sam Andrews. Shalom.
When somebody tells you all FM stations are the same, they haven't been listening. 88.5 FM is totally different. That's why true music lovers make a big switch. And because you have a winner taste, 88.5 FM is your only station.
You want music?
Then get music right now on Kings 88.5
FM.
Diamond Kingdom, baby. It's Bash on the beat. I'm about to tell you